I was thinking, like last week, I was thinking maybe we can begin with a fantastic animal, the favorite fantastic animal for each one of us. I like the basilisk from Harry Potter. I don't know if you have if you are Harry Potter fans or you ever probably you have seen the movie or something. My favorite one is the basilisk, which is like the Medusa, but with a snake. I am going to pass it to Fabi. Which is your favorite fantastic animal, Fabi?
Oh, that's a great question. I wasn't prepared for this again, like dinosaurs last week. I don't know if Sonic qualifies as a fantastic thing, but yeah, I think. Oh, okay. So I really like Sonic. Yeah. I'm gonna pass it to Septimus.
Hey, thanks, Fabi. I love Asta. It's the guy I have in my picture. He's a guy who's born in, like, it's a magic world, and he's born without magic. He's an orphan and like a poor guy and everything, and even all that situation, he's like, I'm going to be the wizard king and I will to protect all these people. And wow, he's so cool, like anime Japanese, but I love it. And I'll pass it to Griff.
Man, my computer is so slow today. It's not really fair. A griffin, you know, I can't not be a griffin. So maybe a Gryffindor toss up, but I'll pass it to Tam.
I don't have a wide range of knowledge of fantastical animals. So I'm going to go with one that we all know and love, the dragon. Who doesn't love a fiery dragon? Paulo, I think you didn't go. I'll pass to you.
Yes. I will say Cthulhu from the Lovecraft mythology. I just like the way that Lovecraft describe it on the story, like an omnipotent being who can read your mind, and people, I don't know, get crazy when is in contact with it. So yeah. I don't know who's left. I think we already passed it to everyone.
Thank you. We have notes for this call. Evie, actually, I think that Tam also had something to do. Pass me some notes for this call, so we can have a hello YGG.
Hey everyone, sorry I'm late.
No worries. We can have an agenda.
YGG's gotta say his favorite fantastic animal. So Tam was the dragon. I said griffin. There are a few others here. What's your favorite fantastic animal?
Oh, that's a tough one. Okay, it just popped into my head. I was thinking like a unicorn, but I'm gonna go with Chimera, the three-headed beast. Yeah, that's pretty badass. So yeah, Chimera. Awesome question, by the way.
I am passing the notes in the general group. And
awesome.
We should fill them out a little bit.
Just as one note, sorry to interrupt, Sam. It's also in the calendar. If you click on the calendar entry, it's linked in there too.
And we still have to figure out what we are going to do today. Probably because we have been very busy on finishing the hatch. And I think that one of the things that we can show is how the hatch is working with all the smart contracts. And Paulo, maybe did you, Paulo, could bring the front end, or you couldn't?
Sorry,
well, we can do.
No, I need because the new hatch is deployed on different Aragon PM registry. I need the hash, the hash value, not the registry name. So I need to do that on Remix or something like that.
Hello, Santi. Okay, we cannot show the front end now. We already have the front end from the last time, and the idea is that, well, maybe we can begin with everyone's update, but my update at least is that we have 3 contracts now. We have the hatch contract, which is the pre-sale, the same, more or less the same than we already have. The hatch oracle, which is a contract that allows us to contribute in the pre-sale, and it's only a contract that is modifying one of the permissions of the pre-sale, which is the contribution one. So they are very decoupled one of the other. And another contract that is the impact hours. Impact hours, you load the impact hours at the beginning before everything starts. And you say it's a mapping in which you say these addresses will receive tokens for the value of these impact hours. Okay. And the hatch is going, and at the end of the hatch, before we close the hatch, there is a moment in which we have reached the goal, but the hatch is not closed. You can only claim the rewards in the moment in which the goal is reached, but before it's closed. And you cannot close before everyone has claimed their rewards. We can also automate that. So when we have reached the goal, we run the transactions that we need in order to everyone to claim their reward, and then we close. And in the moment of closing, what we do is it usually opens the bonding curve. We are not going to open the bonding curve, but it also means tokens for. It doesn't mean tokens. It does the split of the dice in the two in the bonding curve and in the funding pool and the reserve. And it did something else. I don't have it right here. I'm sorry. The thing is that we have that moment in which people can claim and we can run the transactions by ourselves. So we wait until everybody has claimed before we continue with the rest. And that's already done. The things that are missing are tests for the impact hours.
Can you repeat that? So we have to wait until everyone has claimed their TEC tokens?
Yes, but we can claim them for them.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's made in a way that we can do that in various transactions, because it could be that we have a lot of people, and in just one transaction it cannot be possible. So the way it is that we can claim 10 times per 10 addresses per time or something like that, whatever we want. And when everyone has claimed, then we close the hatch. I think that, well, everything is there. I have to do a commit and update it. It's still not there, but it looks solid and it kind of works.
And just on the closing the hatch, does that just mean sending the money that's in the hatch? Like the people can't send money in anymore because the hatch period is over, right? And then closing the hatch means the money that's in the hatch gets sent to the funding pool and reserve vaults.
Yes, exactly. And that's other things. It's like closing. But before we close, it's like we all the people who had impact hours mint tokens. Okay, so that's done. We probably will finish it today, and tomorrow we can begin with the test hatch. I still need Griff to review the parameters for the test hatch. I can show the screen, but I don't think that it's needed right now. I will share with you, Griff. And the thing that I think that it's going to miss is how we show it in the front end. I am a little bit worried that Paulo couldn't have it. Probably it's very easy, but I don't know yet if we are going to. That's the only thing that can vary if we can have it for tomorrow or not. But I am pretty sure that we will have it.
I hope that you don't make the front end being pretty too much of a blocker. The uglier it is, the more likely we can get help to make it pretty.
Okay, and things to do during the rest of the week is that now we have the contracts, we have the front end, and we can still improve these things. For example, we don't have a message in the front end that how much CSTK tokens you have or how much money you can put in. There is either not a link to the other application that allows you to donate to the CSTK, the organization of Commons Stack. There are many things that right now it's the MVP, and if you don't have CSTK tokens, it's going to fail, but it's not going to explain you why is it failing, for example. Or, for example, when you claim before you are able to close, everybody has to claim the tokens, but we don't have the script in order to make that possible. So there are many things that are still missing, but they are not that hard. They are not that hard. During this week, we have to write which are the things that are missing and do them. So I hope that we can do these things together, and it's not going to be that hard because the basis is already done. I'm going to pass it to Paulo and see if he has something to add or something else, and then we can go one by one and see if we have other updates.
Okay. Yeah, from my end, part of the week I was working on the hatch that I show on the general meeting, and this weekend and part of today, I was refactoring and polishing some aspects of the front end, and polishing the subgraph that we have on the graph explorer. So basically, at the beginning, I created a setup subgraph with the name presale, but we need to change that to hatch. But the thing is that you can't delete the subgraph. You need to ask the core team of the graph protocol to delete it for you, because basically you don't have like permissions to do that. So I just sent a message to the core team to asking to remove those entries on the Explorer. And yeah, I was polishing some minor details of the subgraph too. So if Sam has the contracts ready, we can integrate them into the front end. Because on the weekend I add the 2 goals setup, the min and the max goal. So we only need to add the impact hours, the new changes. Yeah.
We still, by the way, Paulo, you did an amazing job last week. That was super cool. We have the, if you remind, we have the video, the text, the amount that has been raised, top contributors, monetary contributors. We don't have any way to explain impact hours people doesn't appear anywhere. It does not appear that we are going to give a percentage. The cultural tribute is not there either. Like we could at least say the cultural tribute will receive a 5% or a 4%, and it could depending on how much money has been raised, something like that. It could appear in the front end.
I think a lot of these front end things and more than what we can think of will come out and evolve from user testing. So
I also think so. This is the MVP, and from here we can only improve. Okay, I would like to know, Fabi, how are you going with the hatch? The Tech UI. I'm sorry because I couldn't. I was so focused on finishing the contracts that I couldn't even. I said hi, but I couldn't have a proper conversation with you.
No worries, man. I know that you're working really hard, and I didn't disturb you both. Yeah, well, last week and during the weekend, I was working on the. I met with Fiore. We were reviewing the components. We realized that some of the components had like an incorrect colors, fonts, or whatever. So she's redesigning some of the things in Figma. In the meantime, I started to update the Tech UI. Also, I published the library in NPM of the Tech UI. I fixed an issue in order to publish the site so Fiore can see every time that I update the Tech UI library, she can check online and see how the component looks. And yeah, I include the library in the Tech interface. I can show you if you want. Sorry about the background noise. Let me share here. First, this is the app that shows you all the components that we were working on, and Fiore is working on like these kind of things that looks like weird. But yeah, here are all the components that we are working on. And then I applied this library to the Tech interface, and I started to work with the new design that is in Figma. As you can see, I changed the header. I'm working on this piece now. But yeah, it's almost finished. But it depends on the changes that Fiore needs wanted to me changing on the UI library. So after update the UI library, this site will be reflecting those changes also. So yeah, this is my pretty much it from my side.
Looks very good. Have you tried? Are you still with that, Fabi? Are you still with? Because I was thinking maybe you can try to put that in the Hatch interface and see
Sure.
if that's going to work.
I have some pending things to correct here, but if you think that adding this library to the Hatch, I mean, it's has more priority than this, I can do it for sure.
Okay. The thing is that having two interfaces can make it easier to you, I guess, to do the adjustments of that we need.
Yeah.
It will be really cool to have a test launch with Tech UI. It's almost done.
Definitely. Just on timing, because of the holidays and all that, we're probably going to extend the length of the hatch, or I'm going to beg that we extend the length of the hatch until the 7th. So the Tech UI that you're making will not be needed to be done until the 7th. I mean, that's still, with the holidays, it's not a lot of time. But just to give you some perspective, Fabi, like the hatch will be used this week. So, and it sounds like we could have two UIs for the same hatch, right? Is that what you're proposing?
Yeah.
That would be awesome. And it gives people some perspective too. They can do some A/B testing. We can have like more experimental on one.
We have the hatch that Paulo did with Aragon UI dark theme, and in top of that we can put the Tech UI. So I don't know. It's like if Tech UI is not ready yet, because whatever, we still have Aragon UI. But I think that we can. Which is going to be the best way to launch it? Maybe launch it and post a forum post, and expect that people just go in and try it.
Yeah, it can be a soft launch. I mean, it's not like it's real. I'm going to give everyone wrapped XDie and XDie so they don't have to fumble around with that. And then put on the forum, and then, the people who are watching the forum, they get to be the first movers, Not that it matters. Everyone gets the same price, right? So, but they can play with it first. And then I think Jess wants usually Jess would like some sort of like how-to video. And so I think just post it on the forum and let people try to figure it out. And then we worry about how to onboard people later. Probably this Christmas on the Thursday, we can just do a how-to during that. We just show people how it works. And that might be the only thing that we do that's even related to the TEC. The rest of the time, I hope we're like, beating Kagatillo and having some fun.
Okay. Does anybody else would like to do an update of this week? Maybe Tonga, maybe, I don't know, or YCC.
Yeah, I'll just go quick. So there's not too much on my end. The focus for me is the visualization for the parameters. And so just an idea of timelines, because I'm kind of winding down for the holidays. So I'm actually planning on doing a lot of development on those parameter visualizations and having something to show, essentially having it sort of compiled and put together for there's the lab on the 8th, when we come back on the 8th. So I want to have like a lot of progress by then, or maybe the day before that, the 7th, in the community call, could go over those. But that's kind of the timeline I'm looking at. Cool.
I am not getting that. You want to prepare it before, or?
Yeah, just I want to go through it and like get my own sort of logic. I mean, that's how I just play with these things, right? So I'm going to go through each parameter and I'm going to think about it logically, about what are the bounds and how does it interact with the ecosystem. And so for each of those, I'll be putting together like these visualizations. So that'll be like a first draft that we can showcase around there, the 7th to 8th. And then, but that'll be like a phase 1. So I think it'll have some improvement to be made. So the following week will be improvements.
Because the labs, I still don't know if we want to use the labs in order to showcase things that we have been doing during the week, or use the labs in order to advance work.
Yeah, so what we can do in this case, I just want to be a bit more prepared, because I want to get a really good, something really nice, like we said, where we can have the different templates with different parameters and then people can vote on them. So I think if I just leave it all up to the labs, we might not get it through. So I want to just get ahead on it, and then we could almost rebuild it in the lab. But I would have like a cheat sheet prepared.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would love to sync on some of those metrics, or basically sure. Tomorrow we have a lab, we have a TEC tech params section, or call, but it's like 7 a.m. your time. I don't know if that works for you.
That's okay. I'll be there.
Wow, thank you, YGG. I'm really sorry about this, man.
It's nice to wake up early.
Yeah. Anyway, we're hoping to have the new DAO.js, and that will just tell us all the parameters that are there, and then basically have like break them up and do a bit of a brainstorm on like what are the important like metrics that we would like to see judged. You know, definitely some scenarios like, what happens if we raise $1 million? What happens if we raise 100K? Oh, we raise 100K. All of these have a min goal over 100K, so they all fail, right? Oh, except for this one, which had a low min goal, and this is how much the impact hours are. You know, some of these obvious scenarios and timelines, these sorts of things.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah. Cool. Perfect. So I'll take a look at for tonight. I'll open up what we started there the other day and just have my mindset ready for tomorrow morning, so we can get any sort of information. I might have something to show off for tomorrow. Awesome.
Okay. Does somebody else would like to do an update? If not, we can also talk about what we can do during the next week. Regarding, we have already said that we are going to launch this hatch, and I think that we have things that we can close in the Zenhub or something, or in the different repos that we have. Maybe it's not yet the time because the code is not yet updated in the repos. But at least to have an image of where we are at and what new things we need to do. Maybe Griff, you can do that? You did that last time.
Yeah, you guys want to close some issues? I like closing issues. I can share screen and see if I can pull it off. My internet's really bad today, but actually I think it's my computer. I think it's just needs to be shut down.
Are you mining cryptocurrencies?
Yeah, but I use my DApp node for those. Like I don't have to. It's not on this. Although let me see, is Monero syncing? No. Like I can't even get the Commons T template to load. I don't think it's good for me to share screen.
Okay.
I'll be happy.
Okay. Great.
So, but yeah, you want to help, Tamara? That'd be great. But I think everyone had some issues assigned to them. If you know your issue is closed, this is your moment. They're not really in the Zenhub, I don't think, are they? Because I think they're actually spread all over these other repos. And I ran into an issue in Zenhub that you can only add like 5 repos or something into Workspace. So, ooh.
Should we jump in GitHub then?
It's in the TE Commons. Yeah, just jump into GitHub and do TE Commons. And there's a bunch of different repos. And this is actually another thing off this topic, is that we might consider moving everything into the common stack repos, because the TEC doesn't have a legal entity, but the common stack does. So under the common stack, all of your guys' work, as long as you join the Common Stack Association, you're legally protected by like our legal shield, right? So
Okay.
kind of think we should move all these repos to the common stack and just play it safe.
Okay. That also applies to the subgraph.
Okay, but for now,
And also the NPM.
yeah. Let's see. So, some of these have issues, and most of them don't. The TEC template has an issue, so you could open that in a tab. The tech interface, I think, has an issue. The Hatch app doesn't have any issues. I thought there was some issues in one of these hatches.
Yeah, in the Hatch app, we have to write a lot of issues, but they are going to come up with the testing, I guess.
The Hatch Oracle, I think
Because
that's an issue.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Shall we just start with the TEC template?
So let's see.
okay, that's done. Well, that's done, but it's not updated.
Yeah.
That's done.
Nice work, Paulo.
No, actually, it was me.
Yeah.
This one, yeah.
Oh, really? Stay in your lane, Sam. Stay in your lane. No, I'm just kidding.
Tech interface?
Let's see. How about any of these? Are any of these closed? Or do any of them need some comment? I'll let you talk about it, Sam, because
I think that we didn't work on,
I would say that
this one, except Fabi. Only Fabi worked on this thing, but he was doing the Tech UI.
The only one I see that is, well, obviously manage the graph and XDI errors properly is important, but there's a lot of value in having a big button that says give us feedback and then having a way to collect that feedback. So however you guys want to do that, I think that's the TEC help link. That's the whole point of these MVP launches. So we should make that bright and ugly and scream out at people. It says, "Oh, come on, touch me, click me." Give me feedback.
Okay, we were not working on this because this is commission voting, and we were very focused on the HDAO. But the issue is there, so
Okay, well,
if
then
anybody of you want to take it, go ahead.
My audio just went a little spastic.
Conviction voting? Okay.
It's not
Oh,
done,
update documentation. I think, Fabi, you were working on that, right?
Yeah, actually, it's assigned to me, but I didn't work on that because I wanted some feedback from STEM that I couldn't check with him. But yeah, that's a small one.
I heard conviction voting. I'm looking for
I don't
conviction
think we
voting.
need that one.
I heard conviction voting. I'm looking for conviction voting.
No, we don't need conviction voting. But there is a pull request on the token manager app. In for review.
Yeah, it is not reviewed. By the way, Bibi is coming back after the holiday.
Is she the one who would review this pull request?
Yes, you could. I would prefer, but I could also review this.
It sounds like, is it critical to hatch or critical to this?
No, not at all. No, it's not critical. It's the pull request that adds the vesting graph in the token application.
Cool. Then let's leave it for Vivi. Can we? I'm actually there, and it's not sharing screen, but I can assign the lock tokens aggregation by Rain to Vivi. We need to make.
I'm going to reconnect. My audio is really quite bad. I'll be right back. I'm going to reconnect my.
Thanks, Tim. I feel like there might just be more issues we need to make. The big tasks that need to be done to get this hatch launched. I mean, is it just you and Paulo syncing and pulling it through, or is there something that we can ask for help from, like Fabi or Tonga?
I think that for tomorrow, it's just me and Paulo, and from tomorrow onwards, we can add new issues. But the shop is already done. The page is already done, and that's what we need to learn.
Okay, cool. Then I guess we'll just make issues on the next round. So I don't know. I feel complete with the GitHub thing. I'd say that we need to probably organize a little bit better on the Zenhub front to manage these issues.
Yeah, I'd love to help with that, Sam. It could be fantastic. I see there's so many repos, and maybe we figure out how to create a workspace or 2 workspaces for Garden Swarm so we can see them all together. It could be pretty fantastic.
We are going to move all of them to common stack.
What's the priority on that, Griff?
I don't think it's that much of a. I wouldn't say it's a priority, but it might as well happen sooner rather than later. Because it's got to happen eventually, or it should, in the interest of everybody's legal crap. Probably better to have it there.
And what does it mean in order to understand common stack? Because common stack was only doing the designs, but now the code is going to be inside of it. Is it going to be the reference implementation of common stack?
Yeah. Well, the gardens template is effectively what we would call our iteration 0, right, of the common stack design. I mean, you did it, Sam. Like, you pushed this thing forward. So, yeah, I mean, we're hoping to add a cultural template on top of it, and then, help people use it. That's kind of the common stacks, thing, so that more people can deploy these commons in a safer way than if they just had nobody to hold their hand.
Okay, I had some more questions. That's fine. And
the other option is OneHive, but OneHive doesn't really give you guys much legal protection either, right?
I don't think so. The thing is that in OneHive, when we begin to do gardens in OneHive, we have to check out that it has all the things that we are doing for this first garden will have sense. Because we are in common stack, we are doing things in a way that maybe for the gardens of OneHive doesn't have sense. Maybe people doesn't do impact hours, for example, or things like that. So I think that I don't know how much equal are going to be the gardens of OneHive and the commons of common stack. Maybe we are diverging and we will never merge again. I still try to make the software as much compatible as possible and as much modular as possible, so things can be grabbed between conviction voting of OneHive, main DAO, and common stack.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that we don't diverge from the conviction voting at all. Like we do what, because that holds $6 million. That's really good code,
And I don't know if we have something else to say today. That's why it's very important to have an agenda.
I added one thing to the agenda. I don't know if anyone else has any topics. I've been dominating. Does anyone else have any topics they want to cover? No. Please feel free to interrupt, because you guys are the Fabi and Paulo especially, because this is a great time to sync. But I just want to reprioritize the Hatch smart contracts and make sure that those are after this test hatch. I know we'll be excited to fix a lot of front end bugs, but the sooner we get those frozen, the safer they will be. So I don't know what that timeline would look like. I imagine that we would want to have the full hatch go through before we could freeze anything. But yeah, maybe set a target date of like the 15th or something, or to say hatch smart contracts frozen?
It is going to be pretty soon, because once we test them and we can do the migration to a new DAO, if that's possible, and probably they are already done. I just have to test it by myself, and then we do the rehearsal with everyone. But the code is already there, so I'm pretty confident that it's going to be able to be frozen soon.
What do you think? When do you think I should say, "Hey, Audrey"? And what's great is Audrey could come to your house, beat the Kagatillo, and then look at the code.
When are we going to finish the test hatch? Maybe on 7th, and then we can do a migration of 3 days, maybe. Maybe it's going to take a little bit more because of the Dandelion voting thing. I mean, I don't think that it's going to be. We can do the rehearsal with everyone, so it's a demo. But also we can just close it because we have tested it internally, and Adria can say, okay, I can review it. So as soon as maybe in 1 week or 2 weeks.
Yeah, Adria will require test coverage. So once you have good test coverage, then that's really when test coverage. That's what he really wants. So I wouldn't want to pass it to him until there's like a pretty good unit test and basic code coverage.
Okay. The only thing that needs test are the impact hours. So
nice.
Give me 1 week.
Okay. Yeah. Then we can just
2 weeks.
Yeah. We can just make that a priority, getting those test things, and then we can get Adria looking at it. And that's just one of the bigger risks of the project is the smart contracts. So as long as that timeline's sped up, that's all I care about.
Okay. So we can set it up for, let's say 14. Let's say 14 of January.
Okay, sweet. And do you think you'd want to come to Barcelona and hang out with him? I think he's up at some intentional community right now, but I'm sure it'd be really beneficial to be co-located for like a 3 or 4 hour intro hack session.
I can go wherever he is, or if he wants, we can hang out in Gibbet's house, or.
Okay. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe he's close to where you live. Yeah.
We will figure it out. Okay. Something else to talk about? The rest of the things are going to be later. I mean, how the conviction voting and ABC is going to be. We will be discussing it on January, and it's easier like this because it allows us to put focus on what we are doing. So right now it's the hatch, and it's little enough to put all the focus on that and make that very good.
Everything's good by me.
Do we? If we don't have anything to say, we can just continue with the deployment and continue asynchronously.
Yeah, just great work, Sem, Paulo, Fabi. Great work on pushing this out.
Hey, I'd like to add my accolades to that as well. It's never a bad idea to end 5 minutes early. I do have one question. Are we having this call next week, or it is going to be Monday the 28th?
No, I don't think. I think that we can skip it 2 weeks until 4th, maybe, of January. I'm sorry.
Okay.
4th or 11th?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Oh man, I hope we can do it on the 4th.
Okay. Let's do it on the 4th then.
Cool. I deleted it from the calendar.
Yes, cool. Awesome. Oh, it's our last meeting of this year then.
I am super happy that I am super happy that we will have that finally. And so I'm sorry because it took much more time than what was expected, but the result is quite good. And I'm super happy that we went through it.
Yeah, it's a much more thorough MVP than we were expecting. So this is very good. You know, like impact hours, people will get to feel it for real, and it makes YGG's life a lot easier with basically all the parameters already there instead of having to guess at some of them. So I think it's working out the way it's supposed to work out.
Yeah, super good work, guys.
And thank you, Fabi and Paulo, and also Vivi, who is not here, and Rain. I hope that we can recover the people who was here in the next year. I guess it's the last meeting of the year. So see you next one.
Yep. And come for Thursday's call if you want to